Okay, we're back, and Joe and I are going to learn Python together. All right, so the first thing we've done is install Python. And next we're going to open a take a break now and discuss what it is we're going to do. We want to write a program that will run in the background, and let's say you're sitting at the computer for many hours every day.
Oh, wow.
And we want to get you to stop and take a break every 2 hours, okay?
Yeah.
a little window is going to pop up, or a web page with a message, or maybe a video, or a song, or something that's going to say, hey, time to take a break. And it's going to do that every 2 hours.
Every 2 hours?
So every 2 hours, a web page is going to open up with a message or a song.
And how long would the break be?
Well, that's a very good question. How long should the break be?
How
long do you think the break should be?
30 minutes?
30 minutes? Well,
10 minutes?
Well, sure, it can be as long as you like. If we're going to, let's say in an 8-hour day, we'll take 10-minute breaks.
Yeah.
Every 10-minute breaks every 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, so
How about every hour?
Oh my goodness, that's a lot of breaks. Every hour? Okay. So if we take a 10-minute break every hour, okay, so our program, now what do you think our program is going to want to do? We need to do something, and then not do something, and then do something. We need to do this 8 times during the day. So we need to know what time it is. We're going to need to set a timer, just like an hourglass, or like the timer for cooking upstairs. We need to set a timer, and then add when a certain thing happens, when the timer runs out, then we will need to do something. So we're going to do I'm going to do the typing over here, and we're going to type it together, okay?
Yeah.
So let's go move over to this computer. Now, I'll leave this one, hide this one here. There's some things we want to do. First, we want to figure out how to open a browser. How are we going to open a browser? Well,
I don't know.
I didn't know either. So we can search on Google how to open browser, because I actually have to know that there's a special function just for opening a browser, and it's called web browser. Okay. So here we have the this is on the command line. You would type Python and then some
commands.
Yeah, we're going to be working inside idle though here, so which is the sort of a Python work environment where you can write a program, run it, and then the output will be here. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're going to have to import this function called Open Web Browser. Open Web Browser is a class or a function, I think it's a function actually, that's already built into a library. Python has a library of functions, things that are already programmed to do stuff. So opening a web browser is one thing that's already defined. So we don't have to reinvent, we don't have to figure out how underneath the scenes how to open up the web browser. It's already in Python. We just have to tell Python this is what we want to do, and it already knows how to do it. But we have to tell our program that we want access to this. So we're going to import web browser. Okay, and then the command web browser dot open, and then inside our brackets here, this is the name of the function. This is the I forget, I don't know what it's called, but actually we can probably look it up. This video is going to be way too long. There are these following functions. I think that web browser is the class, and these are the functions. So open, get, register. What we want is the open. We want to open, and then we want to pass in the arguments, which tell it what to open. Still with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So inside our brackets here, we're gonna put in our URL. Now, we can just open this website for now. Later, we can look for something that we want to open in your program. Okay. So if we just type this, and we run module. There's a shortcut here. You can just do F5, and it'll run. Oh, source must be saved. We have to save our document first. Okay. Did it work? There it is. Boom. See? We opened up web browser open jeffmoger.com.
Huh.
It worked, huh? Now we don't see anything here. There's no error message. That's good. So that's our first step. Well, great. So now we know how to get Python to open a web page. Now what do we want to do? What's next?
I don't know.
Well, we need to figure out how to make this program run every hour. Every hour we need this program to run by itself. It doesn't do any good if you're working and you have to stop your work to go turn on this program yourself, right?
Right.
It needs to be automatic or it's useless.
Yeah.
So, we want to open it. How many times did we decide we were going to run it?
8?
8 times. Okay. So we're going to create a counter. A counter is we're going to do this program 8 times today. After 8 times, we don't need to do it anymore because the workday will be finished.
Right.
So let's create a counter. We're just going to call it count equals 8. Okay. For our test here, we're not actually going to wait 8 hours. We're going to condense it down into a few seconds so we can see the results.
Yeah.
And we might even change the opening a browser to just printing out a statement just so that we can see that it works. Okay.
Yeah.
We can always change that printing with the browser. But let's now. There's while count is greater than 0. Now, this while statement here is basically telling Python, as long as a certain condition is true, do something. Okay. Now, count here is what we just set, right? We told the program that count equals 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if the count is greater than 0, 8 is greater than 0, right?
Yeah.
Then we're going to do something. We're going to open up a browser. But we don't want to do it right now. We want to wait. So we want the program to do nothing for a period of time. How long do we want to do nothing?
50 minutes?
50 minutes, yes. So, there is a function in Python, another function that's already been defined. We don't have to figure out how to make Python wait for a period of time because Python's already created that function in its library of functions. And there's at least hundreds of functions in there. Now, I've already looked it up. It's called, we have to import the time function. And within the time function, there's a whole bunch of different things you can do. And one of them is called sleep. What do you think sleep means?
I don't know.
Well, think about it. What do you do when you sleep?
You sleep?
But what do you? Your brain might be doing something, but forget about what you're dreaming about. Are you doing anything else?
Breathing?
Well, are you doing anything that you would normally do during the daytime?
Your heart is still beating?
No, you're doing nothing.
Right.
You're like, for the purposes of this example, you're not really doing anything, okay? So And that's what we want to do here. We want to do nothing, sleep for a period of time until we run our program that's going to open the browser, okay? So while our count is, while our program's running here, we're going to sleep or do nothing for a period of time. Now,
seconds.
it's measured in seconds here, and we want to do minutes. So we would do. We can either give it a total number for seconds, or we can take a shortcut. We know that we want to do 50 minutes, and there's 50 minutes, 50 seconds in a minute, right? So we can go 50.
No, that's 60 seconds.
Oh, sorry, 60.
60 seconds.
60 seconds in a minute. So we can go 50 times 60.
Yeah.
That's a shortcut, and it's easier for us to read, right?
Yeah.
However, we're going to condense our whole program to make it really short, just so we can practice here.
Yeah.
We're going to leave it in seconds, and we'll just pretend that a second is equals a minute. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it at 50 seconds. Yeah. Now, do you see what I did here? You see what that little space is here?
No.
I don't know if our camera can see this. Okay, well, we'll keep it on us then.
Okay.
I used a tab here. I used a tab key to indent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is that's how...
But tab, how many spaces does it go forward?
Well, there are character spaces, and then there's the tab character, and they're different things. And they're not spaces at all.
They aren't?
Not really. I mean, here in this program, it seems to be 1, 2, 3, 4, but it could be different in another program. The tab character is a separate special character. You can say hello to the camera. This is Sammy. Say hi, Sammy. Well, okay. We are doing. Joe and I are learning Python here. Okay, we're doing our very first lesson. Okay, Joe, you need to stay focused here. Okay. And Sam, don't interfere too much, or if you start distracting Joe, I might need you to go out. Okay. So we're gonna while the count is greater than 0, we're gonna do nothing for 50 seconds, and then when this timer counts down to 50, then we're gonna do something.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do?
Remind you?
Well, we were going to open our web browser, right? So the web browser, what was our command? Web browser dot open.
Dot op.
And then we put in our URL, right? It was this one here, this command, web browser dot open. So I'm going to just cut that out of there. Oops. And we'll put it here. Okay, so what do you think is going to happen if we stop just let it run right now? What do you think will happen?
I don't know.
Well, if we were to run the program right now, what's the what do you expect will happen? That's the first thing you'll see. What did we tell it to do?
We told it to
do nothing. We told it to sleep for 50 seconds.
Yeah.
And then it's going to do this.
Open.
Okay. So if we were to run this, what do you think would happen?
It'll go to sleep.
It'll go to sleep. Should we just run it and find out?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't want to take a guess what will happen?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
We press run. Yeah. Oh, we got to save it. Control S to save.
Oh.
Okay.
That's fast.
Now, you know what? I'm going to stop this for a second. You know why? Control C. Doesn't that work? Because 50 seconds is a long time to wait. Let's make this 5 seconds. Just for our practicing here, okay? Okay, now let's run. 1, 2,
3, 4, 5.
There we go.
Oh. but it's opening it up.
It's going to do it again, though, isn't it? You know why it's going to do it again? Because, yeah, that's not good, right?
Yeah.
Because, there, we've stopped it. What I did was opened up the shell window. I did Control C.
That stops it.
Control C will interrupt it. Yeah.
You should do Control F to frozen it.
Control F to freeze it. Okay, now what's wrong with our program right now?
He's keep making more and more of them.
It doesn't stop. It just keeps going and going, and it'll go forever.
Unless you stop it.
Unless we stop it. Now that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not a very useful program, is it?
Right.
So what are we? So now, do you know why we put this count in here and said while count is greater than? What do we need to do here to make this program stop?
I don't know.
Well, why do you think we're counting? What do we do when we count?
We count.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4,
5. Right. This here is just a variable. It says that the count at the moment equals 8. This here says, as long as the count is greater than 0, do this program. So what we need to, there's two ways we could have done this. We could have started with 0 and counted our way up to 8, or we can start at 8 and count our way down to 0.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is, after we've opened the browser, we need to then reset the counter to be 1 less, because we've already done it, right? So here's an example. Count. We're going to change our count by going count equals count minus 1. And instead of opening up a browser, instead I'm going to print print what it is we're actually doing here. So pretend that when you see a line print out, it's actually opening a browser. Print the count is plus string count. Basically what I'm doing here is I want to print out, I want the program to show us what the counter is doing, okay? So the very first time we run this, it's going to say the count is 8, and then this line here, count equals, what do you think this line means here? Count equals, what is count? How much is it?
8.
It's 8. So if count equals, and what is count here? 8, right. 8 minus 1. Right. So what's 8 minus 1?
7.
Good. So what does count actually equal now here?
7.
Right. We've just changed the value of count from 8 down to 7. So count is no longer, after we get to this line, count is no longer 8, it's now 7. And we can show that. We'll print that statement out so that we can see it. Okay. And then now if we press save, let's see what happens in our program. Okay. Run module.
Die.
Here we go. The count is 8. The count will be 7.
7.
You see what we printed out?
Yeah.
The count is 7, and the count will be
6.
And it's going to run down
Until it gets to 0.
until it gets to 0.
Oh, and every second, every 5 seconds.
Every 5 seconds.
Oh.
What's going to this 5 seconds represents our 50 minutes. Now what's going to happen when it gets down to 0?
Nothing.
Nothing. The program ends.
Yeah, it just stops?
Yep, just stops. Now we didn't have to print all this out. We just
I'm right.
we just printed that out. Now can just zoom in and see that? We just printed that out so that we could see what our program's doing. Instead of having print here, this line would say web browser dot open. we can open up, or we could do something else. Do you think we could get it to make me a cup of coffee?
No.
Probably not. Think we could get it to clean the house like Mom wants?
No.
No, we can't. All right. So I'm
It's
gonna.
a computer. It's not a robot.
That's right. Now that's pretty much it. What we haven't learned yet is how to close. I'm not too excited about our program yet because we haven't learned how to close that window. I don't know how to do it yet.
You don't?
And I don't know how to do it yet.
Yes, you
But
do.
let's try
Daddy?
searching. Let's try searching. I have no idea. Our program is going to open up
Browser.com.
browser.com. Our program is going to open up a web browser
Uki.com.
with a URL in it.
A what.com?
Uki.com.
What is Uki.com?
Open browser.
What are you gonna do with this video?
No, open Uki.com.
What are you gonna do with this video?
Now, let's run it again here.
Yeah.
This will just give you a clear idea what...
What is this video for?
You can just press F5.
I could just press S5. You're right. There, open browser. This printout is just telling us what the program is. Our program will do. Open browser 6 times. That's the 6th time.
Yeah.
We've got
5,
4 more to go before the program ends.
4. Three,
Okay. Now,
2.
now the next thing for us to do is to
1.
learn. There we go. And it's done.
Done.
And the program's finished.
Done.
Yep, done. So now we're going to learn how to close that
Uki.com.
close that browser window, and that's our next task.
What
Finish.
are you gonna do with this video?
What are you
Well-
gonna do with the Uki.com video?
We're going to post this video to our Udacity over here, right here, and over here on Take a Break mini project. I'm
Mini project.
gonna upload this video to YouTube and then share the link on here. Okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a very big video though, so it's gonna take a while.
Hi, Sammy, can
Anyways.
you get off the chair?
You can say goodbye to the camera now.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And finish.